Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Hey, hey, hey. It's going down, girlfriends, girlfriends, girlfriends. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael. Oh my goodness. It's a wonderful working, winning Wednesday with the girlfriends. Thank you for tuning in to 9 a.m. The Superstation. We got issues with Sabrina, Caterina, Crisette, and Gloria. The gang's all here. That deserves a round of applause. We're all here today. Yes, yes, yes. Well, you guys, we're here. We're grateful. Another day on the air. Another day to not drop the mic. Lord, thank you for giving us this opportunity. If you're given the platform, you got something to say, you better say it. So here we are, talking that talk, walking that walk. We are positive, powerful, not Pollyannish. We talk about it all. When I tell you all, we talk about it all. From Ellicott City, Maryland, all the way out to the Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco, California, the D, where the station is based, and recently, Geneva on the Lake, Ohio. So you know what? We got the country covered. We really, really do. So we're here. Today, we're talking No Perfect People Allowed. Recovering perfectionist. We are giving it up. Yes. My name is Sabrina Goodwin Monday, and I'm a recovering perfectaholic. Okay, that's who I am. Girlfriends, raise your hand. We are giving perfection up. Giving it up, giving it up, giving it up. We've got a special guest. It's her business to encourage women to stop dang on being perfect. So we're going to get to Crystal in just a little bit. But what's going on, girlfriends? Let's go to Lady Crisette. She missed the show yesterday, and with good reason, because she was with the man himself, the legend, John Legend, that is. Tell us about that show, Crisette. You went backstage and met him. Tell us all about it.
OMG, Sabrina. It's so exciting to be here on another We Got Issues. And I'm telling you, it was so awesome. You know, Chuck told me probably about a week ago that he was able to get some tickets. And I was like, Lord, this might be the day I'm hosting. I said, let me check and see who's hosting. And see, the Lord loves me. I wasn't hosting. So I was able to.
And even if you were hosting, you
right, exactly. We have to all be messing with you on that one, Chris. You asked for it, now you know for real. That's true. I absolutely, but she's right. I absolutely would have said, who's switching with me? Right? But it was wonderful. I have never seen John Legend in concert before. I am absolutely a fan of his music. He is so gifted, so talented. I mean, he's just such a nice, appeared to be such a nice young man. And I love to watch him on The Voice. He is one of my favorite on The Voice. And I mean, just so learned and, you know, gone to college. And his story is just so powerful. And then one of the other connections that we have to him is his grandfather was the general secretary of our Christian organization, the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. So he was raised in the PAW. His roots are right there. Matter of fact, his mother is still a member of our organization. And so that was just so powerful. And then on stage, he literally, gave the history and talked about, his Pentecostal roots and how he came out of the womb at choir rehearsal. I mean, he's like, his mama kept him at choir rehearsal. And then his story, you guys, he shared a little bit about his story, and he talked about having a dream and how there are bumps along the way. And you can have a dream and your dream doesn't necessarily always come to pass how you envision it in your head. And it's okay. You have to have a dream, but don't get sidetracked by stopping your dream because it's not unfolding the way it was supposed to unfold. So he kind of laid out how he, was in this particular place, and then this happened, and then everything just came together. So it was absolutely amazing. But I will say this, it was, at first it's like, okay, maybe they're doing the social distancing. And as time went on, more people were coming. Then by the time the show was getting ready to start, it was packed. However, the thing that I was really excited about, in order to attend his show, you had to be double vaccinated. You had to show your ID and you had to show your vaccination card. And then on top of that, in order for us to go and see him before the show, we had to go take a rapid test. They had someone there that swabbed us, and they said they would text us during the show to let us know, if we came back negative. And of course, all of us were, thank the Lord. And again, we were able to go behind the scene. And let me just say, the show was, oh my goodness, it was beautiful. I mean, the display, just the graphics were just amazing. And whoever styles him, trust me when I tell you, they know what they're doing. He looked fabulous in every single suit. Fabulous in every single suit that he had on. And one of the things that they told us is that one of the things that they love about him is he is so kind, in the sense that he helps other people, other artists. Like, he had one girl that opened for him, and just gave her the spotlight. And then he had two people from The Voice that didn't win The Voice. He had them come out. Both of them were from Detroit. He had them come out and sing. Yes, he had them come out and sing. And I just thought, you know what? Sometimes if your light is so bright, it doesn't take away for you to spotlight someone else. And, so I just love people who know who they are, and they're not afraid to support other people and put other people up front. And so that, for me, that just sealed the deal. But again, behind the scene, he was so kind. He's a hugger. I was surprised, in COVID, everybody's like, bump, but he was a hugger. He was very kind, very nice. Not extra. So again, it was a great evening. And then, to hang out with my daughter, Kiera, and her boyfriend, Dakova, and putting her business out on the street. Well, it's on Instagram. We did a double date, you guys, a double date. Who does that?
So cute.
Double dated with my daughter. But it was amazing. It was wonderful. So if I was going to miss, we got issues, that would probably be the reason why.
I got you. I got you. Well, the pictures, the video, it was all fabulous. Hey, did he talk about his wife much during the show? I'm always interested in that relationship because she's a trip to me. She is a trip.
Yeah, everybody, when we were posting in our chat, everybody was, complimenting him. And then after that, it was always, but his wife is a hot mess. That's what they were saying. I was like, oh my gosh. So no, he just talked about, it was really cute how he talked about his children. He did mention his children and how he had been, because of COVID, he really missed going on the road and doing his shows. And he said his kids have really gotten accustomed to him being home. And so now he said, they're feeling some kind of way because he's doing his shows and he's back on the road. But he was just saying how, he really enjoyed, being home, with his children, his wife. And that was pretty much the extent of him talking about his family.
I saw.
Oh, but you know what? I will say this. He did say at home, he had He wrote some new music that is coming out next year that he's really excited about. So he let us preview one song, and he said this is Chrissy's favorite song. So he did say that.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Caterina
I saw
and
him in
Gloria.
Baltimore. I saw John Legend in Baltimore, and he was the opener for Sade. I know he was the opener, and it was so interesting because it wasn't that he wasn't famous, because he was already famous. But Sade, I hadn't seen her in a long time, and Ken said, "Let's go see her," and so we saw. But he was the opener. That was wild, and I discovered that when you're the opener, the volume is not as big as it is for the star that night. So John's, he had like half the orchestra he normally has, half the performance. He was phenomenal. He played the piano. He was phenomenal. Fell in love with him then. But then Sade came out, and the volume on the music was just huge. And so I was like, what is going on? So I talked to a couple of people that do production, and that's how they do it. But he's a joy. He's a love. He's who he is on the cover of the magazine, behind the scene, in his music. His stance stays the same. Yeah.
And let me just add this, Gloria. You know what was really just so awesome? When we looked around the room, he had people from every age group. I'm talking teenagers,
right.
High school, and literally he had a variety, seniors to middle age, different nationalities. I mean, when I tell you they were there, you didn't just walk in and say it's just one nationality there. It was probably more other nationalities than just being all Black. So that was awesome to see. I mean, he really has crossed over to so many people awesome. Love his music.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were Crisette, the Danielle. She knows you know her, but she was at Diane's daughter's wedding. Was it Diane's daughter's wedding together? She is John's cousin. They grew up together. So same age group, they grew up together. And we just had dinner at their house when we were back in Chicago. And so she had been to his show, his opening show, and gave us all kinds of scoop about it, which is really good. I haven't seen it personally, but I know it's juicy. I know it was good. The pictures were amazing. He looked amazing. So yeah, I hope to see it when he comes, and I know it was packed up in there. But thanks for the pictures. We're living vicariously through you last night.
Right.
That's right. He did look good. The color, the light, the set, it looked amazing. So thanks for letting us have that behind the scenes look. Well, you guys, I mean, John Legend is pretty doggone close to perfection, if you ask me. All right. But Crystal Love, bring Crystal Love, our girlfriend, in. Crystal Love, where are you? Yeah. Yes.
Hi, ladies.
Hello. Well, we are excited to have Crystal Love from the ATL with us today. You guys, let me tell you a little bit about Crystal. She comes to us from the ATL. She started this. She's the founder and CEO of Perfectaholic.
Yes.
She describes herself as one part sweet, one part sass, and one part sparkle. She leads with her heart, learns by breaking the rules, and lives for excitement. She's been perfection has been part of Crystal's life for as long as she can remember. She was born with a personality that leaned in that direction. With her mom, noted she came out of the womb particular, opinionated, and with the ability to sleep 12 hours straight. It was not until, that's pretty perfect for a baby. It was not until her mid-30s that she realized her particularness from childhood had manifested into perfectionism. Since climbing her way out of the dark hole of perfection, Crystal has been on a mission to be the best type of influencer, one that influences acceptance, flaws, and authenticity. As a recovering perfectionist, Crystal came up with a personal motto: perfection is for basic, BITCHESs. All right, you know how to spell. That she reminds herself of any time her tendency to be perfect creeps in. Crystal believes life happens for us, not to us. Even when things get messy, there are lessons in that chaos. She credits granting herself permission to be a mess as a game changer in her life and as a catalyst for breaking up with perfection. Crystal, like I said earlier, lives in the ATL, her hometown, with her 2-year-old dog, Bo Benjamin, whose favorite things include his grandma, bacon, and his girlfriend, Lola Ray. She's a Labradoodle and so cute. And I know those doodles, we have a golden doodle. So anything in that doodle family is all good. Crystal is a graduate of the University of Miami and has written for entrepreneur.com. All right. Crystal, tell us about this whole movement you got going on.
Yes. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. And I love that we're all in our recovering perfectionist shirts because we have to spread the word. Spread the word. So yeah, I just launched this business very recently, Perfectaholic, and I am a recovering perfectionist. As you mentioned, as you were reading my bio, I've been a perfectionist my entire life. And I realized a couple years ago that was hindering me living a healthy life. And so through life experiences, I came up with that motto, perfectionist for basic B's. And I've been saying it to myself for a couple years to kind of get myself out of that perfection sort of rabbit hole that you sometimes go into. And one day I just sort of had this idea that maybe I could make it a business. And so I did. And so that's where I am now. Yeah. Because I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one.
No, you're definitely
there are
not
a lot
the
of us
one.
out here.
A lot of us, and especially in the world of social media where every picture is filtered, every app makes you look a certain way, everybody is showing off everything all the time, and so you're comparing yourself, you're comparing your situation. It's something. So Crystal, as you have built this movement, what is when you start to talk to women about being a recovering perfectionist, what are some of the main points that hold women back from giving up that life? Why is it so hard to give that up?
I think that it was interesting because as Crisette was talking about her experience yesterday at the concert, and she mentioned that about a dream and sort of not getting sidetracked by it not unfolding in an exact way. And I think some women, myself included, we're planners. We take care of things. You know, we run our households. We make sure everything goes the way it's supposed to go. So we have plans. And so we've been planning out our lives, our entire lives. And then all of a sudden, things don't go as planned. And sometimes we have a hard time letting go of that, letting go of the perfect job, the perfect spouse, the perfect kids. We just have, and it's more difficult with Instagram and with all these other things because you're constantly having to compare yourself to other people. You're constantly having to see other people do other things, and we're all humans. We're humans. So you're going to look and go, you're going to look and go, oh, you know, so I think that some of it is just giving ourselves permission to just let it go. Giving ourselves permission to be a little bit messy, to not have everything together, to be a little bit more authentic, because social media does a lot of good, but a lot of the bad that it does is that it sort of forces you into this, I'm going to only share a certain parts of my life, the parts that are good. You know, the parts that, you know, it's like we're constantly showing off and showing out. And there's nothing wrong with showing out. Hey, I love a good show out. But, you know, I think we also need to be honest about some of our, you know, shortcomings, some of our mess ups, some of our stumbles. And so I think that we as a society have gotten into this habit of projecting perfection, projecting that everything is good, projecting that I've got this bag and this car and this and this, that. And we don't talk about what it took to get there. We don't talk about that you rented that from Rent the One Ray. You know, we don't talk about reality. Right. You know, we are just out here faking it. And sometimes it's hard to get yourselves out of that. So for me, I see it in my niece. I see it in my goddaughters as they're growing up, and they're growing up in Instagram. Thank goodness I grew up outside of Instagram. So I just saw it as, I personally have had enough. I've had enough, and I think that we as a society can do so much more, especially women, if we just say it is okay to not be perfect. It is okay to have a pimple. It's okay to have side rolls, because I've got some. I'm hugging them right now. I love donuts. What can I say? I think it's just okay to just be ourselves.
Yeah.
To just be yourself.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's so good, Crystal, because I promise you, I wanted a Coca-Cola. And I was like, I should get on the set and drink my Coke today. We're trying to be so perfect. Everybody drinking their water. Everybody drinking water. And I started to get on here with my Coca-Cola, but I didn't. Okay. but
you could have.
Yeah, I also think, and I am constantly reminded of it.
Crystal, we got to take a station break. Station break. We'll be right back. Thank you for calling in to We Got Issues, 313-778-7600. We are all recovering perfectaholics. We are giving up perfectionism. We'll be right back. We're back with We Got Issues. Yes. And we'll go straight to the phone lines. We are talking giving up perfectionism. Goodbye to perfection. Hello to the good life. Join the movement. What is a perfectionist? And are you one? We are talking all things perfect, and we know that there is no such thing, really. I love that I went to a church by the Glades in South Florida when I lived there for a bit. And our church motto was, No perfect people allowed. And I love that because it was just so welcoming that you didn't have to feel a certain way because of whatever the flaw was. They welcomed no perfect people allowed. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, are you there?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Marathon, my man Marathon. We're talking professionalism. Giving it up. How are you today?
Yeah. No, I'm good. You ministered to me when you were talking about John Legend and how he had a dream and it didn't really go the way he wanted. You know, when I was 21, I met and worked with Stevie Wonder, and I just knew that I was going to have a record deal. Couldn't nobody tell me I wasn't going to make it. But it didn't happen. And so I ended up still working, always working. But what I didn't realize was I was playing at a church every Sunday and singing. So I was still doing music. So I had to look at it that way. And then later on, I came back to Detroit and started singing in bands, started doing jingles, sang with the Rudy Hawkins singers. I was in the Devil Made Me Do It, a gospel play. So I traveled around the country, and I still really fulfilled my dreams.
That's very good. So, Marathon, the moral to the story is you never give up. You thought that would have been a perfect situation. It turned out not to be that kind of perfect, but you've done well for yourself, still contributing your gift of music in your own perfect way. Way. All right, Marathon. Well, we certainly appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, have a blessed night. All right.
Oh, Crystal, people are asking, how do they get a shirt? Tell us a little bit about your website. Tell us about this movement that you're creating.
Yeah, so I'm glad you used that word movement because it's not about me. I think it's about everyone who needs a little less perfect in their lives. So the website is perfectaholic.com. We've got shirts, we've got hats, we've got mugs, we've got car decals. So we've got a little bit of everything. My favorite thing on the site, though, is a digital download, and it is a guide to writing a breakup letter to perfection. Because I think for me, perfection is like I had a relationship with it. I was so comfortable with it. It was like we were in a relationship, and I had to make the decision to break up with perfection. And that was not easy because it's like being in a toxic relationship. It's like, you don't need to be in it, but you're just so comfortable. You just stay there. And so we have a guide to writing a breakup letter to perfection because I think it's important that you let yourself and the universe know that you've had enough, that you're moving on, that there were some good things that perfection brought to you, but overall, it's just not meant for you anymore. So I think it's important that for me, I always encourage people to take that as the first step, is to literally break up with perfection. And so I've written my letter. You can read my letter on our website, but it's a digital guide. It's automatic. You purchase it and you get it automatically via email. And I think that's a great first step. But obviously, yes, the shirts, we've got additional shirts actually launching in a couple of weeks. They're on pre-sale right now, but they're starting to ship on November 1st. But the goal is to just build some momentum, to build some movement, to have a group of women to share this, to say, hey, I've broken up with perfection. Maybe you should too. I see some of my perfectionism in you as well, to just kind of help us be a little bit more authentic and help us give ourselves and the women that we know permission to just be us. Mm-hmm. We are always being told that we're not something, and honestly, so what? We are enough just the way we are.
Right.
Hey, Crystal, just listen to you talk about perfectionism and how, sometimes it starts when we're younger. I think about women who suffer from anorexia and bulimia, and how their body image in their mind needs to look a certain way. And so many young ladies have died because of anorexia and bulimia, and it really is so difficult for them to accept themselves the way they are. And you alluded to it earlier, Sabrina, when you talked about, the images that we put out there, they're always, perfect. Take this wrinkle out, take this out, do this, that, and the other. And I think there is definitely something to be said for individuals to say, yeah, everybody wants a good picture, but you know what? Sometimes you need to see me on a bad hair day. You know what? I don't go to sleep. It ain't a movie. You know how movie stars, they go to sleep looking fabulous and they wake up looking fabulous. Now, what you look like when you wake up in the morning. It's bad when you go to unlock your phone and Siri don't even recognize you. Like, baby, you need to put your code in because I don't know who this is looking in the phone, right? So yeah, I'm so glad you said that. We really do need to be a little more, I believe, transparent so that people understand, what you see is what I want you to see, but this is the real deal. Sometimes, yep, my hair is nice and pretty, but trust me, I just went to a hairdresser and covered all the gray. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I think there's nothing wrong with showing the best version of yourself you want to show to the world, but I think you should also be honest of like, this is not how I woke up. I did not wake up like this. Beyonce did. She's probably the only one that wakes up like this, but the rest of us, right. I think that especially for younger women, because they are bombarded with these images of unrealistic body types, unrealistic, when I was in high school, we just, did our regular hair. Now they have to have hair and nails and lashes. And I mean, it's just like, it's so much and it starts so early. And I think that, especially for the younger girls, if they see older, established women who are being more honest about who they really are and what they really look like and what it really took to get these up here or this, and then maybe they would make other choices, or maybe they would just be a little bit more, clear about, informed. Exactly. Informed. Like there's nothing wrong with you. Like I said, showing out, I like to peacock myself, but I'm going to be honest about what it took to get it there. I think there needs to be a balance. And there's just, it's a little bit more swayed in one direction than the other. Now.
Yeah, I was reading in psychology today, and I was looked up, how do I let go of perfectionism and have a strong sense of self? Because it's easier said than done in this society. We could talk about it, but then we really got to work at it. It's not easy. It is a discipline. It is, and so this is what the article said. It said, change your mindset. Our mindset contains our ideas and views about life, which come from our previous experiences and perceptions. Some of it is deeply ingrained from our childhood. And so, I mean, I know that there, from childhood, there was either a grandmother or an aunt. Pull your socks up, lotion your legs, comb your hair, sit up straight. Don't do this, do that. It's you had to be a certain way. I mean, really. My grandmother, she was a stickler for diction and English, proper grammar. And so it was like, I would feel a little something before I walked in the house, like, let me get my words together and let me make sure that they come out the right way.
Well, it worked, Sabrina. It totally worked on you.
And she like her too. She like her. That's horrible.
But
I'm correcting everybody.
I'm glad you brought that up, Sabrina, because I think there is a difference, though, between having standards and being a perfectionist. There's nothing wrong with having high standards. There's nothing wrong with, as I like to tell my new boyfriend, I am high maintenance, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there is nothing. High maintenance equals high quality. There is nothing wrong with having. There's nothing wrong with having standards and expecting, to be well put together and have a clean house and speak well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a difference between that and perfection, which is when it can only be A or B. black or white, this
Right.
or that,
Right.
you know,
And I think
all the
that-
time.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's it, the balance where you're so hung up on always being on the other side that you lose footing, you lose confidence, you lose a lot when you're so busy trying to be so far on that other side. So that's
Yes.
good. Standards are okay, but perfectionism isn't. They also talked about building self-reliance, that you gain it through trials and errors, that you gain through mistakes. So it's okay to falter or fall or fail. Learn to let go. Oh, learn to let go. That's big. Because so talk a little bit about that, Krista, because I heard you talk about letting go on this journey of being a recovering perfectionist. Talk about learning to let it go.
I think I had to learn that the hard way. I just was very stuck in a certain, this is going to happen, this is how it's going to happen, it's not going to happen any other way. And I just was very resistant to any other options. And I tell this story on my website, but one of the catalysts to me sort of getting to where I am is I went to a psychic fair. And it was one where you like go to different psychics for like 15-minute readings. And they all pulled the same exact card for me. And it was the 5 of Cups. And what that card is essentially there's a man, he's sort of hunched over, and he's essentially crying over spilled milk. He's got these cups and they've spilt over. There's 3 of them that are spilt over, and he's looking at them and it's like, oh, look what's not happening. But behind him are 2 full cups. The problem is that he's not turning around. He's not willing to look in another direction. And that kept coming up. And I realized that is what I had been doing. I was sure things were not going exactly the way I planned them. Sure, things were not perfect, but there was so much good in my life. I was ignoring it because I literally refused to turn around and just consider that I could still have a good life. I could still be happy. I could still be satisfied with something different than what I had planned in my head. And so I think it's about just letting go of whatever, letting go of this life you thought you would have, letting go of this body you thought you would have till you were, however, letting go of a lot of things, because it's okay to have something different. It's okay to, for things to not go as planned. And so I think, again, women, we need to give ourselves permission to let go of not always being right. Let go of not always having it together. Let go of your kids are not, everything is just not going to be perfect, and that's okay. It is okay. I think mothers deal with that a lot, of having to feel like they have to have everything together, and I think it's just sort of giving yourself permission to say, I've had enough. And also removing people from your life who expect perfection from you. I like to call them the perfect police. I had a cousin who
the perfect what?
Yeah, the perfect police. Well, you're not this and you're not that. And, neither are you. But you seem to have projected your idea of my life on me.
Right.
How about I project my own idea of my life on me? So I think it's not just letting go of what you have in your head. It's also letting go of what other people put on you. Your parents, your friends, your spouse, your whoever wants you to do ABC. They want you to be a lawyer, a doctor, have a 9-to-5. Maybe you just want to be an artist or whatever. You are allowed. And I think if we have learned anything in the past year and a half with COVID, is we can't control everything. We cannot control everything. People that are here today may be gone tomorrow. So why continue to live this life that you're trying to fit in a box? You might as well just be a little bit messy and just live an amazing life. Amazing lives are not perfect. They're just not.
Krista, how do you define the difference between perfectionist and a control freak? Some people are very much in control. They want to be in control, but letting go of control, letting go, perfection. How do you divide those two things up? What do you see as the difference?
So I think that there are some that cross over. I like to control certain things. So outside of this business, I'm an event planner. And that works for me because I have to nitpick. And so it allows me to get out that sort of control aspect of myself. If you are a perfectionist, you probably will always be a perfectionist, and you don't have to apologize about that. You know, you just need to find ways to, you need an outlet for it. It should not run your life. You know, you cannot perfect everything, but if that's just who you are, then find ways to be nitpicky about stuff. So like I said, I have another job where I'm an event planner and I have to dot I's and cross T's, and that just really does it for me. I'm like, check, check, check. I'm like, you know, and then I also, people laugh at this, but I wash my own car. I go to a car wash where I scrub my car, and then I go through the car wash, and then I vacuum because I can nitpick everything, all the little dust, because I need to get that sort of control part out. You know, I need an outlet for it. So I
don't need that. So good.
I don't need that.
Crystal, that is so good.
I think also it is accepting who you are. If you are naturally somebody who likes to control things, don't try to be somebody else. There's nothing wrong with that. Just find appropriate and healthy outlets for it. You know, I think that is the ticket. Yeah.
Crystal, that is so good. Like just thinking that's a perfect quality in a surgeon, right? We like surgeons that are perfect, like, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
this is so good. And I love that some of our audience members are just talking about how they can relate to this. I have downloaded my manifesto and I just love how you say there is power in letting life surprise you. I love that. And perfectionism doesn't allow you to do that. When you were just talking a minute ago, I was thinking even perfect is an opinion, right? Because what someone's idea of perfection is someone else's idea of imperfection. And so that means, does perfection even really exist? Because it's only what's perfect for you, right? You can't really project it on anybody else. When you say here, you can either be perfect or present, but not both. Can you talk about that? Because that's another thing that we are always working on, is how to be more present. These devices and different things that enhance our life and increase efficiency don't always allow us to be present. So
I think that perfection forces you to constantly look for what's not right. And if you're constantly looking for what's not right, what's not exactly how it's supposed to be, then you can't just enjoy the moment. So I think that is what that means. It's like, if you're going out, then just enjoy it. You know, if your hair is a little messed up, your makeup is not exactly how you want it to be, you know, that's what you're focused on, then you can't be present and just enjoy a night out. Enjoy, you know, having a good time. You know, I see it so much. It's like I'm out or I'm at a concert or I'm somewhere and it's like all you see is chick, 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 let me take a picture, you know, it's like they're just so focused on this and they're not even paying attention to, they're not being present of what's going on. They're just so focused on, let me take this perfect picture so I can post it on Instagram so people can see that I went to the concert. But did you really go to the concert? Because you weren't even paying attention. You know, you were busy taking pictures. So I think it's just being more present in your life.
We are so guilty. You are speaking to the choir, Crystal. Okay. All you perfect
raise your hand
women.
again,
Perfect. You know who you are. I mean, seriously. I mean, really. And then, but how do you break out of the shell? Because sometimes I'm at a meeting, I want to go somewhere, but you're so busy trying to get something for social media. It's like you lose the moment. You don't even enjoy where you are because social media has become a job. And so you are speaking to the choir, because these chicks right here, every time I go with them, I can't even have a conversation because they want to take a selfie.
Don't talk about your imperfections when it comes to social media. Don't talk about your imperfections when it comes to iPhone use. Don't talk about your imperfections when it took 2 years to get the right ring light. Don't even talk about it.
And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it.
Okay.
I'm done with it. I'm letting it go. Because Coach Crystal, I'm not posting nothing else for the rest of my life.
I do not want to be responsible for that.
She happy right now. She happy.
No, I think, let me clarify. I think, yes, go out. You want to take a picture because you want to post it, but then put your phone down. and pay attention
Right.
to what's going on and enjoy your friends and enjoy the conversation. And, you know, so I think it's, again, balance. Yeah.
Put your
Yes,
phone
yes,
down.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
an interesting concept. Put your phone down. Ooh.
Put it down, Gloria. Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard. That's so hard. You know, yesterday at the concert, you know, I wanted to, you know, share some with my girlfriends. So I did some clips, and then I put my phone in my purse so that I could enjoy the concert. Because sometimes I'll video it, and it's like you said, you can't be in the, because you've got your hand up, you can't just be there present when you're trying to video everything. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do a little bit, and then I'm putting my purse up so I can enjoy and look and see how everybody else is enjoying it and be present. And so I'm glad that I did that. But I know sometimes, like you said, Sabrina, it's challenging because you're like, wow, did I miss this? And then look, that little inner voice, Gloria, social media, you know, you need some content for social media. You know, you need. I'm like, be quiet, Gloria. I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you.
You heard me, but I was glad to get the videos, the personal text that you sent us. We were glad to get them. We were your social media last night.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't makes a difference. I want to ask you, Crystal, on this journey, what have you seen women, not just the young women on social media, but what have you seen them gain emotionally because they dropped this perfectionism? You know, what have you seen because I know that when you're on a mission to create a movement, you're always looking for the light bulbs to go off, you know, and reinforcement that you're on the right path and that you're making a significant difference for people. So when you hear women say, okay, I got it, what do you see happens for them when they release that desire to be perfect?
I think it's, and I do it all the time, it's like this. It's an exhale, you know, because being perfect is exhausting. Being perfect, and it puts a lot of pressure on you. It's a lot of tension in your body that you're trying to, you know, okay, I'm, you know, so it's just like, exhale, you know, exhale and let it go and just sort of breathe through it. But also, I think it also helps with, there's a lot of fear associated with perfection. You know, you're afraid to put yourself out there. You're afraid that people are going to be like, oh, look at her, and she's not, you know, it's a fear. You know, I mean, there was fear for me in starting this business again. I've had businesses before and I failed at them, you know, so there was a fear for me, but it's almost like letting go of perfection is almost like, all right, I'm just going to do it. You know, it allows you to sort of just kind of jump in the deep end, and, you know, you know, either somebody's going to save me or I'm going to save myself, and I probably will save myself, you know.
Let's go to the phone lines. Hold that thought, Crystal.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go to the phone lines. Bernadine has been on. Thank you for being so patient. Bernadine, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. And wow, this topic, I mean, please, y'all are reading my mail. Because I'm recovering perfectionist. Being a Virgo.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Talk about it.
Oh my, I know all about y'all. Okay, like, ouch. No. But it was thanks partly to teaching and being in that classroom where anything could jump off at any moment, and having my Mary Kay business, that I learned the spirit of Elsa. Let it go. And I still work at it every day. But Crystal was right. There is a lot of fear associated with not being perfect, not showing your best all the time. Sometimes, especially as I was learning how to do glamour, I can't tell you, I would be like in the eyebrows, like on and off 10 times. Real.
Sometimes you don't need both eyebrows. Maybe you just need the left eyebrow. You don't need the left eyebrow and the right eyebrow.
take a picture like this. We can work it out. I hear you. But it's true. And but once you do learn to let it go, there is such peace.
Yes.
And you actually learn to love your imperfections.
Yes.
I can look at old pictures especially from junior high and high school, when everybody picks at everything. Mm-hmm. And love the very things that they were picking at. And in fact, those are the very things that make me the queen I am today. Yes. Go on, Queen Bernadette. Bernadette. Queen Bernetta. But Bernetta, we are so glad that you called. Thank you for calling. We Got Issues. You always add value to our show. Thank you for calling 313-778-7600. We are all recovering perfectionists. We are in it together. Yes.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you.
Crystal, I have a question. How much of the perfectionism, or what would you say to individuals who find themselves constantly comparing themselves to other? And I know we know all of the sayings, don't copy other people, why you were born an original, don't die a copy. But when it comes to women, and I don't know if it's the same for men, and it could be, but I really don't think their number is as high as our numbers when it comes to comparing yourself to other people. And sometimes the perfectionism comes from trying to compare yourself and keep up with the Joneses per se.
Yes. Yeah. I think Instagram is a constant keeping up with the Joneses. And it is like a rabbit hole of looking and comparing yourself. And I would say, you can be in sort of a spirit of comparing yourself and not be a perfectionist. So I think that is an unfortunate trait of a lot of women, whether they're perfectionists or not. And I think some of it is, my mom used to tell me something all the time, and she used to be like, well, you need to love yourself. And I was like, that's impossible. How can I not love myself? I mean, how can I, she's like, you just need to love yourself. And I just did not understand it until I understood it. You cannot love yourself if you're constantly comparing yourself to someone else. If you're constantly wishing that you were more like this or more like that, because loving yourself means that you accept yourself exactly as you are. The good, the bad, the ugly. So I think some of it is, at the beginning of COVID, I sort of took I don't know if I'd call it a sabbatical, but a break from everything and everybody. And I just kind of got quiet with myself and just leaned into myself. I felt like I did like a spring cleaning of myself. And kind of when I came out, I was like, all right, this is who I am, and I think it is just, again, I use the word permission a lot, but I think it is just giving yourself permission to just be exactly who you are, as opposed to who you feel like you're supposed to be or who somebody has told you need to be. I think it is just saying, okay, this is who I am. Like my hair is wild as I don't know what, like I said, I have side rolls. It's just like, this is who I am, and it doesn't serve me to compare myself to other people. It's like, it doesn't serve me to constantly look and say, oh, I wish this, or I wish, no, I'm just gonna enjoy and accept myself for who I am. And then also I think affirmations help a lot. I think sort of putting you in a mind space of being grateful helps a lot, because it takes you out of that sort of negative spiral that comparison can do. And that's sort of why I came up with the motto that I came up with, because when I get in that spiral, I'm like, Crystal, nope, stop, right. And it's just like, perfection is for basic, and it stops. I just tell myself that, and I'm just like, okay, I'm good.
You're not a basic, and that just makes you stop, because you don't want to be a basic B, right? So it's like, nope, that's not who I am. That's not who I am.
I have never and will never be a basic B. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
Tell me this, do you think without COVID allowing you that time to get still and have some time to sit with yourself, do you think this movement would have been born from you if you did not have that time?
No.
Wow.
I was starting to get quiet before COVID came along, and then COVID just extended that quiet time. At the beginning, when COVID started, I was working on another business that I had been working on for years, that I just knew I was supposed to be doing this business, and it was financially unsuccessful. I was in a lot of debt from it, but it was like, but I'm supposed to do it. I've spent so much time and energy and effort and money. It just has to work. And then it was like COVID happened and the world slowed down. And so I slowed down. And that was when I said, it's okay to let it go. Yeah. As you know, Bernetta said, like, it is okay to let it go. And it's like, as soon as I sort of said, I'm going to let it go, my body went,
wow.
You know, it was just, I was so tense and so, you know, and I let it go. And then 3-4 months later, I sort of had this idea for Perfectaholic, and it was almost like God was like, I was just waiting on you to, you know, just let go of what wasn't for you, you know. And no, it was not successful financially. It wasn't successful in other ways, but it taught me a lot about being a business person. It taught me a lot about a lot of things. So when I was ready to start Perfectaholic, there were things I did not have to learn again because I had already learned them. So I also think that perfectionists have a very singular focus on what is successful. You know, mine was like, I'm only successful if I'm financially successful at this business. And God was like, no, you're still successful because you started something from scratch. You put yourself out there. You know, you made a way when there wasn't a way. Like you learn, I know how to create a website now, you know, like I know the best printers for the stuff that I need. You know, I know how to create, you know, my social media. Like I learned so much. But in my mind, I was like, I'm failing. And God was like, no, you're not. You know, you're learning, you know, and when you're done learning that lesson and you let it go and you close that door, I will send you something better. And that is exactly what
That's good. Go ahead, Gloria.
Okay, just one other question real quick. The difference between men and women when it comes to letting go of perfectionism. Have you seen a difference between how men let it go and how women let it go? I know we only have like a minute left, but I was wondering.
Yeah, you know, I haven't, because I really have been leaning into women, you know, because I feel like I understand women a lot more than I understand men. I'm not sure if I will ever understand men. Y'all should do a show on that.
That's a whole nother show.
Perfectionist understanding is not the goal. Getting along is the goal. Okay.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I'm not discriminating. I think that there are definitely men that are perfectionists, and they probably have their own ways of dealing with it. But for me, and what I'm trying to do is focus on women, because I think that we need this help, and that is who I am focused on is women just like myself, who just need to, you know, let it go.
Yeah, as we are come to a close, you guys, this has been such a great conversation. As we are all recovering perfectionists, we have raised our right hand and said we are going to be recovering because we are not basic bees, okay? So we got to make peace with the now before you feel satisfied with the later. Make peace with the now before you feel satisfied with the later. We can't feel totally satisfied with where we're going until we can accept, acknowledge, and appreciate where we are. And so make peace with where you are and your journey towards something new, and you'll feel so much better on this path of progress. It's been great. You guys go to Crystal's Perfectaholic website. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Twitter. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. 313-778-7600. We got issues. See you guys. Ciao. Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.